First in HD, this is 13 Eyewitness News at 6.
A Katy man becomes the first person to face criminal charges in connection with the worst oil spill in U.S. history. And good evening, friends. I'm Dave Ward.
And I'm Gina Gaston. Just days after the second anniversary of the BP disaster, this major development in the investigation.
An engineer is accused of destroying evidence after the fact. Eyewitness News reporter Ted Oberg begins our team coverage. He's live from the federal courthouse with what the charges mean. Ted?
Well, Dave, most significantly, it means that this BP spill is finally in criminal court, but not over the well design, not over some high-level executive wrongdoing, but over the cleanup cover-up, the feds allege. And tonight, a Katy engineer is facing 20 years in federal prison. Yesterday, Kurt Mix, that guy in the purple shirt, was just an anonymous former BP engineer. Tonight, he's the only person in the world charged in connection with the worst oil spill in U.S. Gulf history.
They're not charging him with the oil spill. They're just charging him with attempts to cover up some evidence.
To our legal analyst, Joel Androphy, it's lame.
If the first criminal charges to come out of this are an obstruction of justice charge against a low-level person, that is a lame attempt to portray to the world that you're actively, aggressively going after BP.
The well blew out April 20th, 2010. 2 days later, the feds say Mix was told for the first time to save everything related to the spill, including texts. Court filings allege Mix was warned 5 other times in the next 2 months to save it all too. But, say the feds, he deleted hundreds of text messages in October 2010 and August 2011, just days before he was supposed to hand them over as evidence. The texts were mostly from the time of the Top Kill effort. BP was publicly optimistic that it could stop the blowout by forcing drilling mud down the hole. But after the first day, a Kurt Mix text message showed the effort was likely doomed. BP tried for 2 more days before giving up. Feds say that text was among the messages Mix deleted. The feds later recovered it. Mix faces 20 years in prison, but is likely far more valuable as a building block in a bigger case. It's likely the feds are hoping he'll turn against his old bosses and help them build a case against BP executives.
It could be building a pyramid, but you would expect a pyramid to be built on people that are pleading guilty. He's not pleading guilty, at least as far as we know.
We know that he and his lawyer have been talking with the federal government for quite some time, but there is no sign in today's court appearance that Mix was at all interested in a plea. He's back in court next week in New Orleans. He tonight is out on bond. Live at the federal courthouse downtown, I'm Ted Oberg, 13 Eyewitness News.
Just last Friday marked the second anniversary of the spill. Let's look back at the timeline of this disaster. On April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon rig exploded, killing 11 workers and starting the worst oil spill in U.S. history. After 3 months and several failed attempts, including the top kill procedure, a containment cap finally stopped oil from spewing into the Gulf of Mexico. But it wasn't until September that the well was completely sealed off. In the end, an estimated 200 million gallons of crude oil leaked into the Gulf.
In the 2 years since the start of that disaster, there have been multiple investigations and countless lawsuits over fault and liability. Eyewitness News reporter Maya Shea continues our live team coverage with a reaction from some of those involved in those cases. Maya?
Well, it's been a long haul for attorneys and plaintiffs relating to this Deepwater Horizon disaster. And today's arrest, even though it's preliminary and even though it's just one person, was still welcomed. The Deepwater Horizon disaster impacted thousands of fishermen, motel owners, and restaurateurs up and down the Gulf Coast. Among the many attorneys who ended up handling thousands of claims, Houstonian Jason Gibson, who says his clients welcome today's developments.
The government definitely needs to get to the bottom of it, and I think it's news that's welcomed by anyone that's been affected by this spill.
Gibson points out that small business owners often have a difficult time fighting large corporations like BP in the courtroom. In disasters like Deepwater Horizon, the resources of a multi-billion-dollar company sometimes overwhelms mom and pop operations. If someone is unlawfully destroying evidence, it makes an already tough court case even more difficult.
I want to see the government take it as far as it needs to go because this will set a clear example for the future in other companies. Listen, if you're going to destroy evidence in these types of cases, you better be aware of the consequences.
So needless to say, both criminal defense attorneys and civil plaintiff attorneys are watching this specific criminal case very, very carefully. We're live downtown. Maya Shea, 13 Eyewitness News.
And our coverage continues online at abc13.com. There you can find the latest updates plus background and related stories.
Family, friends, and